Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're embarking on an exploration that, well, it really makes you ponder a fundamental truth.
Yeah.
The very essence of human knowledge, in its purest form, isn't inherently good or evil.
No, it isn't.
It's just this powerful force capable of both incredible creation and uh, unimaginable destruction.
It's a profound duality, isn't it? We're taking a deep dive into what we've kind of come to call dark science, focusing specifically on the chilling history and frankly devastating impact of chemical weapons.
Right.
The material we've gathered today, it pulls from historical accounts, scientific descriptions of these agents, and even current geopolitical contexts. It all explores chemistry's incredible power, to both build up and tear down.
Absolutely. And our mission for you today is really to unpack how the same scientific understanding that has enabled so much human progress, how it can also unleash such horrific outcomes. Think of this as your essential shortcut to being truly well-informed on this critical, often overlooked aspect of human history and science. So where do we even begin to trace this path?
Well, I think we have to start with chemistry's benevolent side, its role as a foundation for so much progress. When we look back at the history, the material really highlights figures like Muhammad ibn Zakaria al-Razi from ancient Iran.
Al-Razi, right?
Yeah, this remarkable alchemist, often seen as a pioneer. He discovered alcohol and sulfuric acid, laying critical groundwork for modern chemistry as we know it.
And what's truly remarkable, I think, are the hints of even earlier ingenuity. Like, consider the Baghdad battery from the Parthian Empire, also in ancient Iran.
Oh, yeah, fascinating.
Historical accounts suggest it might have existed nearly 2,000 years before Alessandro Volta. It's just this fascinating glimpse into an early scientific understanding that really speaks to chemistry's profound impact.
Absolutely.
It's truly woven into the fabric of our modern world. Life-saving medicines we rely on daily, plastics that simplify our lives, the fertilizers feeding billions, the fuels driving civilization. It's everywhere.
That's the extraordinary thing about this field, isn't it? The same foundational knowledge, this deep understanding of matter and its transformations. It has this inherent neutrality.
Yeah.
Yet what we see in the historical record is how that very knowledge can pivot so dramatically. The same processes that give us beneficial compounds, like those life-saving medicines you just mentioned, they can also be twisted to produce the deadliest substances on Earth.
And that's where the path turns incredibly dark. The very science that enables an elixir of life can also bring what some sources chillingly describe as the breath of hell to the battlefield.
Yeah.
It's this profound duality that truly defines the story of chemical weapons.
So when we talk about chemical weapons, what exactly are we defining here? Simply put, these weapons utilize the toxic properties of chemicals. Their goal is to cause death, injury, or severe incapacitation.
It's not about blast force.
No, exactly. It's not about the force of an explosion, but the insidious nature of poison itself.
And the effects are just horrifying. The material details several categories, each designed for, well, immense suffering. First, you encounter agents that attack the body's protective layers, like blistering agents.
Like mustard gas.
Right, mustard gas. These things target the skin, eyes, respiratory system. They cause these painful, disfiguring blisters that leads to an agonizing, really prolonged death.
Then there are the nerve agents, like sarin gas. These are particularly insidious, often odorless, colorless.
You wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know until it's far too late. What makes them so lethal is their ability to paralyze the nervous system. They do this by disabling vital enzymes.
Okay.
This leads to a complete loss of muscle control, and victims can die within minutes because their respiratory muscles just stop working. They literally can't breathe.
God, that's terrifying. We also learned about choking agents, chlorine gas being a grim example from World War I.
Yes, widely used then.
These gases specifically attack the lungs, causing them to fill with fluids and mucus. The victim effectively drowns from the inside out. It's just a truly terrible way to perish.
And we can't overlook incendiary agents like white phosphorus bombs. When white phosphorus hits the air, it just ignites instantly. Reaches temperatures around, 800 degrees Celsius?
Wow, that high.
Yeah. And what's particularly gruesome, as revealed in the accounts, is that it sticks to skin and flesh. It just keeps burning until all the surrounding oxygen is gone, inflicting these unimaginably severe and prolonged injuries.
Just awful. Finally, the sources discuss incapacitating agents. Agent Orange comes to mind, used by the U.S. during the Vietnam War.
Right. Primarily a defoliant.
Yeah, meant to destroy forests and crops, but it contained dioxin. This wasn't designed for immediate death, but the long-term impact was absolutely devastating. It cause cancer, horrific birth defects, chronic illnesses
Mm.
in millions of Vietnamese civilians and, crucially, American soldiers, too.
Yeah, it's a chilling reminder that the damage isn't always immediate or visible. It can echo for generations. This brings us to the brutal history of these weapons, which stretches much further back than many might realize. The earliest organized evidence of chemical warfare, it might surprise you, comes from the Sassanian Persian army.
Okay, tell me more.
Well, the accounts describe excavations at the ancient city of Dura-Europos in modern-day Syria.
Right.
Around 256 AD, during a Roman assault, the Persians apparently ignited a mixture of bitumen and sulfur down in a tunnel.
Ah, the tunnel tactic.
Exactly. The result was this suffocating gas that killed 19 Roman soldiers within minutes. It's a grim testament to ancient ingenuity being applied for, well, destructive purposes.
Fast forward to the modern era, and chemical weapons saw their widespread introduction in World War I. Historical records aptly call it the Chemists' War.
They really do. In 1915, the German army was the first to deploy chlorine gas on a large scale. This was during the Second Battle of Ypres against Allied forces. It just irrevocably changed the face of warfare.
And the horror didn't stop there. One of the most notorious and just heartbreaking uses of chemical weapons in recent history occurred during the Iran-Iraq War.
Saddam Hussein's regime.
Yes, his regime used mustard gas and nerve agents not only against Iranian soldiers, but also, horrifyingly, against Iraqi Kurdish civilians.
And what the material reveals as particularly disturbing is that these agents were supplied and produced with German assistance.
Right. That's a crucial point.
The chemical bombing of Halabja, a Kurdish town in Iraq, it just stands out as one of the most horrifying instances of chemical weapons used against civilians in modern history.
Unbelievable.
And what the sources make quite clear is this historical note. Germany has never actually apologized to Iran for its role in this atrocity, nor has it really been held accountable internationally.
That highlights a significant and, well, ongoing question about historical accountability on a global scale, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Given such a brutal history, you'd hope the world would have learned its lesson. And, well, to some extent, attempts have been made. The Chemical Weapons Convention, the CWC,
Signed in 1997.
right, it aimed to ban these weapons entirely. Countries like the U.S. and Russia, who had the world's largest chemical arsenals, officially declared they had destroyed their stockpiles.
Sounds good on paper, but what's interesting, as the sources point out, is the kind of ironic twist where this very convention also served as one of the pretexts for the U.S. invasion of Iraq in 2003.
Yeah, the WMD justification.
Exactly. However, the material is quick to highlight that many of these disarmament efforts were, in practice, maybe largely superficial. What we find is that several countries, well, they continue to secretly develop, possess, or even use chemical weapons without actually declaring them. It points to a significant, troubling gap between international law and reality.
And if that wasn't frightening enough, there's a new and, frankly, terrifying threat looming.
Binary chemical weapons.
These aren't like the older agents that are immediately dangerous right out of the container. Instead, their danger is sort of concealed.
That's precisely it. Binary chemical weapons are composed of two relatively harmless, or at least low toxicity, chemicals.
Okay.
They're stored separately, so they appear innocuous on their own. But when these two components are mixed,
Then the reaction happens.
right, they undergo a chemical reaction to form a highly lethal compound, something that can kill thousands in a very short time.
And that's where the real insidious danger lies, isn't it? Because the ingredients are harmless on their own.
Much easier to handle, transport.
Exactly. They're much easier to transport and conceal.
Yeah.
This dramatically increases the threat of chemical terrorism, making it far simpler for them to cross borders or be stored undetected.
Yeah.
It really elevates the level of concern for future threats. It feels like a whole new ballgame.
And if we connect this all back to the broader perspective, it brings us full circle to where we started this conversation. From the ancient alchemists who were simply trying to understand the world around them.
Just pure curiosity.
Right. To the breakthroughs that have given us life-saving medicines, chemistry has profoundly served humanity's betterment.
Absolutely. Ultimately, this deep dive reminds us that science itself isn't some abstract good or evil force. It is simply a powerful tool. It's an extension of human will, human ingenuity. And that knowledge, that power, When placed in human hands, well, it's capable of either making life immeasurably better or devastating it entirely.
The choice.
The choice for all of us always remains ours. It reflects the profound and inescapable responsibility that comes with knowledge. What will history write about the choices we make today?